Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Just Another Talk. And as you can see from the title, we're gonna get into a spicy one. And I'm not even gonna get into too much. I'm gonna just go ahead and allow the title to speak for itself. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
This conversation can go in so many ways. So before we get started, just like give me a lay of the land. I guess maybe not what's your introduction, but what's your experience with the conversation about black athletes ending up with white women or black men who prefer white women at large?
I would honestly say mine is frustration
Okay.
because I think the conversation needs to go in a different direction.
Okay.
I think we're lacking the communicative skills to be able to even have a conversation that's edifying, that gets us to the other side of being frustrated. It is something that's a real thing, and I can acknowledge that. But even as a black woman, a former athlete that went to a PWI, a single black woman, you know, I have my feelings. Like, I love black men. I prefer them as well. So it's almost like sometimes I feel like, man, they got another one of them. But at the same time, it's like, you know, love is love, and there's so much. This is a convoluted issue. So for me, I'm just excited to dive in it with you guys, and hopefully people that watch will understand. Like, it's not just as black and white, no pun intended, as it may come across.
And before we get to talking about more about preference and I guess what we find appealing or attractive, I want to speak a little bit to what you said about these people don't really understand me and I don't understand them. I think for me specifically, when I think about my choice and who I want to end up with, I want to be with somebody I don't got to explain nothing.
Yeah, I need my plight understood,
and unfortunately,
for sure.
no offense, Deontay, I'm gonna have to explain certain things to a man
That's
because it's something
absolutely
you're not gonna
right.
get,
That's
boo.
absolutely
right.
But
Yeah.
a white
So, do you want to be with somebody that you have to explain to, or someone you don't have to explain to? Like, that's a contradiction right there, number one. But then also at the beginning, she also said why black athletes end up with white women. Most black men are not high-paid black athletes. We might be athletic, we might still do athletic things and play sports, but to say like that already, I don't know where this is going. I haven't seen this video, but that's already a couple red signs off the bat. You're not talking about regular, everyday black men, right? Average black men, the run-of-the-mill black men who are going to work, blue collar, may or may not have a degree or have a specialization in a craft, who also make a good income. You know, I would even consider myself at that point. Like, I make a good income. I live comfortable. Well, I'm gonna give them a chance. Let's give them a chance. Maybe they're gonna prove me wrong. Who knows? Let's just find out.
white one, for me, absolutely not.
Yeah, because it's two factors now. It's like, also too, it's like, I remember I was talking to this white girl one time, because she had like red hair. I thought that was like, I was like, whoa. Like, you feel me? Like, this is crazy, you feel me? But it's like, I had brought her to my neighborhood, and like, the way we was talking and communicating, she was like, what does this mean? What does it mean? I was like, this is getting annoying. Like, I'm not trying to translate. Just kick it, like, shut up. For real. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you
Wait a minute. Just imagine a group of white folks talking like this about a black person. Like, just shut up. I don't want to have to explain this to you. Like, you already, first off, you said she had red hair, so no, I don't know what you mean. I don't pick the people I interact with, especially when I'm looking for a partner, only by their hair color. I personally don't care what your skin color is. I care more about how you treat me, and then also how you treat yourself and how you portray yourself as well. How you carry yourself, what you're trying to do, what your goals are, where you're trying to go, and of course your family dynamic. What kind of home did you grow up in? Those are some of the factors that I look into when I'm looking for a partner, not what color her hair is. Of course you met somebody who was an airhead, because all you saw was the red hair, didn't ask any more questions, and off to the races you go. Like, I already don't like this dude. Let's give him a chance, Zay. I'm gonna give him a chance. Let me. Maybe I'm wrong.
know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm thinking, but this how you think, cause it's like you watch this and it's like yo, Shawty got red hair, like you see what I'm doing out here, like.
Okay.
But the translation part, it was just like, oh, I really don't get these people. And then when I went to her house, it was like, how are you? It's like, what, you wasn't expecting me? But nah, they wasn't expecting me. So it's like, oh yeah, these dynamics is
and
off.
now your safety.
Yeah,
is something that's on
I
your
feel
mind.
like too uncomfortable to the point where it's like, yeah, go up and go in the room, and it's like, go in the room.
No, I ain't going no room.
Going room is.
Yeah, I was like, man, you know, my dad, he really gonna trip. I'm gonna go and get up out of here because I don't feel comfortable over here.
Okay.
So it's like, but you remember stuff like that. Even, and as a boy, it's like, when they daddy be looking at you weird, it's like, let me get up out of here.
Okay.
If I had to call my dad. You feel me?
We don't want your daddy to show
Oh,
up.
God.
Okay, and what about you, Sheree?
This is a tough one, guys, because Lene, I'm with you.
So, what was the point of his story? What was the point? Like, I've met fathers of the young lady I'm dating, and of course they're gonna look at me like, what the, like, I'm dating his daughter. He knows what's going on behind the scenes. Like, any father would look at a man, especially when you go to their house, specifically if it's the first time, or if you speak like he does, where I didn't hear no complete sentences. I'm sorry. I didn't hear a complete thought. I didn't hear an articulation of what point he was trying to get across, besides the fact that he sounded like a victim. I went to a white person's house and they looked at me funny. Did you do funny shit? I mean, would you not be looked at funny? Do you have a daughter? Would you not look at the dude who's trying to date your daughter and test him and see how he reacts? What happens when his vocabulary is less than appealing? What would you do? Like, again, some of these thought processes are basically non-existent, and from the simplest standpoint are ridiculous. Like, I don't even know how to, I can't defend him. I can't even be like, oh, all right, well, I could see why he felt some kind of way. Like, you know, I could see, like, no, I cannot, actually. And I don't understand what you just said, bro. But whatever. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance.
Okay.
As a black woman, I don't believe wholeheartedly that any man other than a black man can truly connect with me in the way that you described.
Right.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, I have to also own the fact that there are frustrations that I have with a sect of black men in this generation when it comes to partnering, when it comes to potentially being a husband or even a viable boyfriend. That has now put me in a position where, even though I really don't want to be open to dating men outside my race, I don't want to do it. Let me be very clear.
there.
It's not what I want,
It makes sense.
there.
but it's something that at almost 39 years old, still desiring a family in that life, I may have to be open to.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any experiences necessarily with being in the proximity that you mentioned with white males when it comes to dating. Now I will say, growing up, my cousin used to always, tease me that I would end up with a white man, and it would make me so mad. It would really upset me. Like, why would you say that? Like, am I not good enough to be with a black man? But that, outside of that comment, no.
Oh, commercial time. I hate these stupid commercials. I kind of have no choice. But even what she's saying is like what are you talking about? Like, what? I don't know. I'm not even good. You know what? I'm gonna just let her finish, because maybe I just don't understand it, because I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm just one of those uneducated black men. Who knows?
I mean, no.
We don't have an issue with what you like.
Right? We don't. I don't.
One of our issues, particularly for straight black women, is that there's not a lot of y'all to choose from.
I almost ran up.
I
out of
hate
here.
to say it, and I hope it don't sound
I almost
ridiculous,
ran out
but
of
the
here.
numbers quite literally don't lie.
Right.
And then the way things are also set up, black women being one of the most educated groups, it is difficult for us to find counterparts.
Right.
And the counterparts we do have, they got their pick of the litter.
Yes, they do. Ooh.
And now we already have to compete with one another in a way that is, unfortunately, it makes it difficult to be community oriented when we, like, because of scarcity mindset. But then when we see you turning the other way and you do it because, and your answer is always because, and I'm not talking about everybody, but for those of you who say your answer is because you dislike this, that, and the other about black women, it just opens up the whole conversation about beauty standards and privilege. And even you mentioned in the white hair, these things that feel exotic. Have you had any personal experiences in either way? Because I mean, you're attracted to women, and you being a woman yourself.
So let me get this straight. Because black women are educated, it limits the pool that you can pick from. Doesn't have anything to do with the scarcity mindset, which she spoke about, but didn't go into any depth. Didn't talk about how that's a negative way of thinking, how that's not a good way of thinking. Like, it doesn't, like, education does not equal intelligence. You don't need an education. And when I say an education, I mean you don't need to go to college to learn certain things in order to be educated. You can be educated from the experiences you go through if you choose to learn from said experiences. If you choose a career path, let's say, for example, a man who decides to take a technical career path versus a college career path, there's not very many differences from either man. It doesn't make one man better than the other. As a matter of fact, I would even go as far as saying when a man takes a technical path, there's a lot more thinking and a lot more objective thinking that is required versus going to school and learning something from a book and then regurgitating it in order to get a degree. Whereas if you get a technical degree, like let's say whether it's construction or carpentry or welding or any one of these jobs that is essentially, I would say, it's a male dominated industry where it requires more than just the ability to apply something you learn, but then also use what you learn in ways to solve problems. That is a lot harder than getting yourself an education where, say, for example, you get one of these ridiculous degrees they're handing out now that is like the, I don't know, I wouldn't know the title, but I've heard a few people in my personal life who said, "Oh yeah, I got a bachelor's of in sociology, right, which is the study of human behavior, which could be very useful if it was learning from an objective truth, not just given a specific realm and a very narrow spectrum where you're learning from or you're learning about something that the system wants you to learn." Not to mention that I've heard this before as well, where colleges, one of the reasons you have women graduating at a higher clip from colleges than men is because colleges and just school overall is geared more towards how women learn versus how men learn. Men are hands-on, rambunctious, loud. You wanna, you 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 have to have certain things that attract you for you to learn. Whereas in college, it's sit down, write this assignment. We taught you this. Now, write an essay about this. Now, I'm not saying that guys can't do that because there are plenty of men who are getting their degrees, and I'm also not trying to shit on colleges because getting a higher education is important for a lot of positions, but it's not the end all be all. And for her to say, "Oh, there's a limited ability." If you're talking about athletes, then for sure there's a limited amount of black men. But if we're talking about regular, everyday blue collar workers, they're all over the place. They're all over the place. Whether you choose a man who's in the stock market and got a finance degree, or whether you choose a man who owns or runs and operates a technical type of job, like I said before, it's just. I'm gonna just press play.
Where you felt like that has influenced your choices, or you could see its influence on the choices of people around you. Your choices attracted to women. Have you had any personal experiences in either way? Because I mean, you're attracted to women, and you being a woman yourself, where you felt like that has influenced your choices, or you could see its influence on the choices of people around you.
You know what? Yes to the aesthetic piece.
Okay.
But I will even go a step further. For me, it goes like to an attitude or perceived attitude piece.
Okay.
Even most recently. Shaq, hey Shaq, I love you, but hey. So I did, no, I love Shaq, but he's part of my story.
Okay.
So I was doing a segment on the Shade Room, and I was smiling but very much confident in what I was saying, talking like I'm talking to you all. And Shaq is watching, it's like a live stream on YouTube, and he's like, she's so pretty, but she's so mean.
Aww.
And I was like, Shaq, I'm not mean. Why would you say that? And I think there's something about Black women who are confident and solid in who they are that sometimes can be perceived as we're angry or we have an attitude or we're boisterous when we simply just believe in what we're saying. And we naturally emote differently than other races of women anyway.
Right.
So for me, it's been more of that. I'm taller, so I kind of have a presence about me with that. The aesthetic piece, I haven't gotten to that point yet, to be honest with you. I haven't gotten to that point.
I gotta address that. Emoting differently is not the same thing as what the stereotype is, which I myself, I don't agree with the stereotype. All right, I don't think that most Black women have attitude problems or are not or are too aggressive or masculine. Now, I can also understand that there are two things can be true at once, and the fact that right now what we're being shown is boss babe attitude, being aggressive, being demanding, being in a certain way that's outside of what would be considered being feminine is what's promoted right now, right? You listen to the music that's being promoted, which is mainly rap and hip hop and the women of rap and hip hop, and they're talking shit that's just like, what? Like, why would you? Who says something like that, right? So, emoting differently is completely different than being aggressive and masculine. Now, are there reasons why some Black women are more masculine than other types of women? Of course. But it also goes back to the community aspect, whereas we don't have as strong a community as you would say the Asian community has, or even the white community, or even parts of the Hispanic community itself, where you have women who are a lot more feminine, a lot more reserved, a lot more docile, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, whereas she lets her man lead, isn't challenging, isn't talking all this kind of isn't talking about all these things of independence and how, well, I have this, I have that, what do you bring to the table kind of mentality, and just allows a man to be a man, right? And now I can also look at the other side of this coin as well and say there are men who don't live up to what being a man should be, and so unfortunately that leads some Black women to be masculine. But if we're being quite frank, there's a reason why there's a stereotype, right? Doesn't mean it applies to everyone, but there's a reason there's a stereotype. There's been enough experiences by a large enough group of people who have stated said stereotype that then leads to the fact of it being in I guess in a way adopted by mainstream. Now, again, I want to reemphasize the fact that I don't necessarily believe all Black women are that, but what's being shown to us is that that is what's being out there. And also, this is not only in the Black community, because we're speaking about the Black community, but I know women who are aggressive and are not Black. I know white women who are aggressive and not Black, who are masculine. Like, if as a man, that might not be my cup of tea, or that might not be the next man's cup of tea. But that doesn't make that woman less than or worth less. And I think that's the problem with this thought process, where it's like, no, I'm nice. You can't call yourself nice when someone else says you're not nice. Like, that's not, like, my grandpa used to say it all the time. There's certain titles you can't give to yourself. Other people have to give them to you. And that's one of those titles where it's like, if you're being told you're not nice, as long as it's not coming from someone who's trying to hurt you or trying to put you down, you might want to look into that and see, okay, what did I do that this person thinks that I wasn't being nice versus, no, I'm nice. What are you talking about? I don't believe that. So let's keep going.
Point of insecurity yet, because I'm still dealing with what I just talked to you about.
You don't need to get there. It's
You know
not
what I'm
like
saying?
you
I don't,
have to.
and I don't want to get there, but I do think sometimes just the confidence, the assertiveness, it can be a little
You're not wrong.
off-putting.
Intimidating.
Yeah. So I think that's the intimidation piece is what I've dealt with
heard
more
that,
than
and I'm gonna let you answer, but I've even heard.
I'm sorry, y'all, for stopping it, but we gotta get something clear, ladies. You can't understand the definition of intimidation. You have to be able to cause physical harm to someone in order to intimidate them. If you have a gun and you come at me, okay, that is definitely intimidating. Why? Because you could take my life, you could hurt me seriously outside of taking my life, obviously. So, and it's a force multiplier, so it's definitely different. But if it's just you can't intimidate a man who is set and strong in his ways. A real man. Maybe a boy. Maybe. I don't know. But intimidation requires the ability to cause damage to the person who's intimidated. Like, I that's one thing I hate. I hate when a girl's like, that's an immediate turn off. If you tell me, oh, what are you, intimidated by me? Like, okay, goodbye. Like, I'm gone.
Heard that specifically in the whole like comparison piece, white women being softer or more malleable or amicable or amenable to particularly black men leading, but also to my point earlier, it's not a whole lot of y'all left. And in the y'all that's left, how many y'all that can lead?
I don't know
it's
what
even by a smaller margin. But anyway, go ahead.
Well,
Deontay.
I just think I'm listening to what you're saying, and it's like
unplug and unlock.
Look at that. Perfect timing for a commercial. I'm glad that came up because I wanted to add something to that where, you know,
The tech and the value.
They're saying, oh, white women are more malleable, more soft and things. Those are all things that men want. Like, why are those adjectives made out to be so bad? Like, it's not a bad thing. To be a woman and possess those qualities is a great thing. Like, femininity will literally control a man. You will get your way more times than not by being feminine versus not being feminine, or versus being masculine, or versus being overly demanding and trying to exert your will on a man. It just is what it is. Now, some men are different. Some men don't want that. Some men are okay with it, and that's fine. But why is it immediately a negative connotation to these words? Why? It's not. It doesn't help anybody. It's definitely not helping anybody. But regardless, let's get back to the video.
all these attributes that black women have that people want to kind of rein in. If you was Latina, sexy. So it's like that get odd too. And also too, it's like we get, you know, we curate our feeds on social media to our interests. So my interest, I want to see what black folks on. So I don't know what other communities doing what they talk about, but I know when it comes to men talking about women, the only people I see publicly degraded all the time, no matter what, is black women. So it's like I said, I was hyper aware of this young though, because I'm light skinned, both my sisters brown skin, dark skin. So I would just see how people would approach us like, oh my God, you got such nice hair, and and then look at my sister and be like, and I'm like, hold on, cuz, like, what's up? So I always been hyper aware because of the differences between me and my sisters in appearance. But I also never liked that I never liked that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But because it's like, they look like my mama. So like, I don't understand what the problem is. But the louder people get when it comes to black women about like, you too loud, you too to do. And then when you compare it to other women, it just seemed like they were a little bit more contained and controlled. But like I said, when you start talking about Spanish women, then that attitude is sexy. Oh, yo, I had a Spanish girl, she was finna stab me, it was hot, like, woo, woo, woo. That's crazy. It's crazy, right? But like, seeing grown men act like that, I'm like, hey, brother, what we doing? Because it's like, I ain't saying you can't have other preferences. I'm saying I'm a Panthers fan. And if you ask me why I'm a Panthers fan, I ain't gonna say because I hate the Falcons.
Yes.
So it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
this guy's being disingenuous. I, your hair is better than your sister's hair? I don't believe that. Like, I got black hair, period. Like, the little bit of hair I do got, which is my beard. Like, my hair, this, like, black folks have nappy hair. That just, it is what it is. Like, what does it matter? What if somebody doesn't like that? But then, going to the point of his point about Latinas, like, and the fact that, oh, Latinas have a strong attitude and that's appreciated. Not by everybody. And when she has too much attitude, there's a problem there. But on the other hand of that, I've heard plenty of people say, yeah, she got an attitude, but she also does all the feminine stuff. So it's just like, again, what is this need to compare different people from different communities, right? And disingenuously, especially, compare them, while also at the same time saying that, basically shitting on men the whole time. This is what this is. Like, I don't see it any other way, and I really don't get what their point is to this. Like, are they trying to, like, he's pandering to them because they're in the room? Because I don't see his perspective. I don't understand it. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the problem and I just don't understand because I'm not smart enough to understand, since, you know, it's a room full of educated folks. I don't know what to do, guys. I think sums up.
All right, so I want to move on to the other side of the debate, because sometimes when I see this conversation or this discourse happening on the internet, you get, but it's okay when a black woman does it, when she dates outside her race, and you were just speaking to that a little bit.
Yes.
I've been on these dating apps myself. It's hard out here for us.
That's why I got off.
And there is a prevalence of white men on them apps.
Yes.
And it's not really my thing, but it also just makes it difficult for me to have more options for my dating pool. But for you guys, like, what do you think is the difference between when it's happening amongst black women versus when it's happening amongst black men?
We don't have a lot to choose from. And then we talk about preference, right? So if I'm a black woman who desires to date a man who has a certain faith that he practices that's in line with mine, that makes a certain amount of money,
Now you'll go there.
that has maybe a certain limit with how many children he already has,
Now you're asking for too much.
that may have never been married before, and I'm older.
Yeah.
So we down under the floor by the time we actually vet through every, like, and this is not, again, I'm not talking about women that are super stringent and have all these high, like, over the top standards.
No, they're
just
just real.
basic things, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's not higher over the top. The bar just being held.
That's what I'm saying. So we're doing this off just basic fundamental things that we would like. A man who's into his career. Some of them still trying to figure it out. No shade, but again, if you're established, if you're high achieving, and that would go for a man. Like, depending, if you may have a standard where, hey, I want to date a woman who has a passion, it's something she's really passionate about, and she's career driven. She can still be a great mom, but she has something for herself.
See, and I think this is probably the biggest problem in dating. Women are applying things that they require, they look for in a man. Most men don't care what you do. They don't. Look at is it Messi? No, it's Ronaldo. I think his girlfriend worked at like a fast food restaurant or something crazy. Like, she did something extremely, like, remedial, for lack of a better term. Not that those jobs are completely horrible, but they're not very hard to do. You can get entry level positions. And so he married her. But it's like this whole idea where, like, oh, I have this and that means you have to have a certain amount or else we can't be together is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, yes, of course I want somebody who has the ability to understand what they want and where they're trying to go. But do I need somebody who's extremely ambitious and hustling their ass off to get to where they need to be and is willing to do anything they need to do to get there? No, that kind of personality is going to clash with me. I need somebody who wants to progress, but wants to progress as a team, wants to get together and figure out how we do this, whether that's following my vision or maybe she has a better idea and we follow her vision. Those are things that I think, again, are being discounted from the conversation, and it's only one perspective. This isn't a panel to have a discussion. This is an echo chamber. This is literally like I don't know how like I'm 19 minutes into this 34-minute conversation and like my brain hurts. I don't. All I can do is laugh. Like what are we talking about?
You wouldn't date a woman that necessarily doesn't have anything going for herself.
That's real.
So when the statistics already show, it's not a lot of y'all around, not a lot of good solid guys around, not a lot of guys that care about themselves enough to go to a therapist or to read a book or to go to the gym or to eat a salad. Again, we're under the couch.
See, right there. I'm calling guys dumb, fat, and lazy. You're like, it doesn't make sense. That's like, I'm not even gonna go there. It's just a crazy thought process. You're categorizing most men like that, because most men are not like that. Especially in the black community, I think 50% of black men have no children. Like, what are you talking about? I think the problem is you're aiming for a certain man, like they said, who has options, and then you want him to conform to your worldview. That's not how that works. If you want a guy like that, you're gonna want to play in his ball game. The same way that if a man wants a woman, and he doesn't have the things that she wants from a man, he's gonna have to do certain things to attract her, or else she's not gonna be attracted to it. And as a guy, if I'm attracted to a woman who wants a specific type of man and I don't meet all those criterias, and for whatever reasons I may not want to get to that criteria, I'm not gonna be mad at her. You know what I'm gonna do? I keep it pushing. It's other fish in the sea. Like it's really that simple. And if there comes a point in time where like I'm looking for a partner and all of a sudden I can't find any, or every partner I meet is like saying I have a deficiency in some aspect, I'm not going to turn it around and try to be like, oh, my plight. No, I might have to do some inner searching and realize, holy shit, maybe I'm the problem, because I'm the common denominator in everybody I've dated. So, like, again, no accountability, no foresight, no awareness, no ability to just be like, you know what, maybe I'm the problem. At 39 years old, like you said, or almost 39 years old, you think that everyone else is the problem? I'll just
And so that's part of it. It's a numbers game. You all have more choices. It just is what it is.
I think also too though, like, even if I am on the same like economic status as you, my options is different. I might want to go play that field for real. Like, it's like I don't work that hard. If you ain't got nobody that stayed down with you to your success, and even sometimes, even when you do stay down, like my options change up. I want to go explore them options because we always think it's something better going on. But I think too, my mentality about this is always like, whatever. Like, the whole conversation is like, do what you want to do, as long as it's not like, well, I'm dating white men because I hate black men. Like, yeah, I'm cool. But then also too, it's just like, in like a case like Serena Williams, like, the only thing I ever really heard black men compliment her about was her ass. You feel me? Everything else is like, she manly, she this and that. But she go get with the white dude. Now the white dude look crazy. He look crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he is a billionaire.
You
like,
saw the swimming trunk picture, didn't you?
I did.
I can't do no more of this. I can't do no more of this conversation. You literally just contradicted yourself. Oh, I don't date black women because I dislike them for XYZ. But then you turn around and say, oh, well, Serena Williams is dating this white guy who's a billionaire, which, by the way, he's not a billionaire. He's worth, I think it's like $100 million or something like that, like 150. Actually, let me double check just to make sure. But I know he's not a billionaire. I know for a fact. Yeah. No, Serena Williams' husband, Alex, I don't know how to say that, is not a billionaire. He's worth $150 million and Serena's worth $300 million. So, like, this is a disingenuous conversation. Like, what are you talking about? Even the statement, oh, whatever. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Use your words. Articulate yourself. Like, what this whole episode, I thought I was gonna be able to finish it. I don't want to finish it. I'm annoyed. I'm irritated because this is not white people out there. This is not how most black folks think. This is not. This is a small select group of frustrated people who have nothing better but to complain versus analyzing the situations they've been in and realizing I'm the common denominator in every situation I've been in. And instead of looking at it like, man, maybe I could choose better, I could do better, I could do something to make myself more appealing, more attractive, they rather run with this victim narrative, which is what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, like, I can't say it any more times. You are the common factor, the common denominator in every situation you're complaining about. That's you. So, like, also, when he says all I've ever heard is black men say, the only positive thing I've heard black men say is that Serena has a nice ass. Like, bro, that speaks to the people you're around. What are you talking about? This woman is probably one of the most decorated female athletes on the fucking planet. And all you've heard black men say is that she has a nice body. Are you stupid? Are you, bro? What? That talks about the kind of people you're around. You're around dudes who only think with one head, and we know what heads we talking about because it's not the one on their shoulders. Like, does she have a nice body? Hell yeah, she has a nice body. I don't think she's manly. I mean, she got muscles and shit, but like that, she played tennis and she worked out. And to me, she looks good. I don't have a problem with Serena Williams. Like, she looks good. She's a little older now, but you know what I mean. I would let me not get off topic, but still, the point is, it's just like what are you saying, bro? Like, this whole conversation again was not a panel to have a debate. This was a simple echo chamber. And this is a prime example of what happens when you don't have dissenting voices in a conversation. When you don't have people with different perspectives, you get people with all the same perspective, the same idea, and guess what? No constructive comments. All comments that lead back to what? Victimization. All comments that lead back to, well, it's not my fault. It's because of XYZ. It's because of this. It's because of that. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Not to mention that y'all never even spoke about the biggest sect of black men, which is average, everyday, hardworking black men who get up, go to work, have their own apartment, have their own things, and are choosing to not date until they find someone who has the qualities they require. What about them? We're only going to talk about athletes? We're going to base our dating standards off of athletes only? Like, that's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And it's so annoying that nowadays that's basically what it is. Like, most people are not athletes. Most people don't make over $100K a year. Most people make $40,000 to $50,000 a year and live perfectly fine. You get together with someone else who makes $40,000 to $50K a year, that's anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You can live fairly decent if you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses on $100K a year. What are we talking about? Why are you painting this narrative? Like, it's just beyond me. As a matter of fact, I'm curious what some of these comments would say. Let's go into the comments and see what they say. Let's see. It says, the conversation was simply an echo chamber. Look at that. The first comment was simply an echo chamber rather than an earnest attempt to dissect the topic. No black male athletes, no white woman, no historian, and no psychologist. True. 20 minutes in, and the hostess said she brought this conversation together because she was tired of the gender war, but in the video, both her and her guests used damn near every false statistic and degrading talking point against black men. Yeah, they didn't bridge the gap between black men and women. They perpetuated already existing biased beliefs as much as they all said that they were in favor of interracial dating. I'm assuming what IR stands for. They actually made dating out outside of your race, I'm assuming is what he didn't spell in there, sound like the most viable option for both black men and women as opposed to pursuing one another. This is literally the same rabid gender war propaganda one can find on TikTok. Just shameful. Do better. Facts. Do way better. Why do women clamor for athletes instead of academics and blue collar guys? Exactly. Like, why? Why is it only athletes who women want? And particularly in our community. Why? Y'all just hate black men. Leave us alone. I love it for Serena, but I hate it for Kobe. black woman. That's a good point. Look at that. That's crazy. We don't care if black men date out. Proceed to make a 30-minute video. It says how they don't want a man but cry when men get with women who want a man. This is the whole gender war. That's what it is. We don't need a man. We're independent. We could do bad on our own. All right, fine. Go do bad on your own. Like, if that's the case, go do bad on your own. Go do completely bad on your own, but then you're mad at me when I'm now choosing to remove myself from the situation. So basically, if they see a black woman with a non-black man, they sympathize with a hypothetical struggle that a woman might have gone through. But if they see a black man with a non-black woman, they dismiss him as a sellout and go on about their business. I didn't see that in the interview. Wait a second. Did we miss something?
Shot a little translucent. It's a stark contrast.
Okay.
What he like invested in this or something? No, just like to you the stock route, and I'm gonna go do the corporate.
Get a black one down the street. Is that setting?
I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes the white boys be pulling some bad. I'm talking about bad. I be like, hey.
Honest, if I'm walking a lot of black women, and I'll speak for myself, and I'm working through not feeling like this. If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
Something in him is weak.
Wow. So he's weak because he's with a white woman? Like, I'm confused to the max. What? He's weak? Poor young lady. Like, she needs help. She needs Jesus, guys. She needs something. Oh my God. Let's finish. I'm gonna let this part finish because I'm curious. Oh wait. Let's go back. 10 seconds.
If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
Something in him is weak.
I want to preface this by saying, because I don't think we had an opportunity to say it as much. Love is love.
Love is love. Now.
And
Love is love.
as was
Amen.
evidenced in our BEG draft, we just fell in love, and she just happened to be white. Sometimes this happens,
No, that's real.
but sometimes it don't. And I just want to contextualize her statement by saying that. Because
And I appreciate you doing that because I believe the same. On the other side, I think when I see a black woman with a white man, despite all the historical context that we know that sits behind that, I think, oh, she must have got she's tired. Like she must have got so fed up that she's.
I don't, nope. We're not doing this no more. Not on my channel. That's crazy. What? So if I see a white man with a black woman, oh, she's tired. She done tried and gave up. Like, you're literally hating on black men. You're literally doing what you say black men are doing about black women. That's crazy. But you see a black man with a white girl, and immediately you think, oh, he's weak in some kind of aspect. Like, how does that make me weak? Or not me, but how does that make a black man weak? Because he chose somebody who chose him. Like, what let's get through a couple more of these comments. Let's see what I got over here. The numbers she made up in her head saying they aren't enough suitable black men available is a lie. This entire conversation is pointless if it's based on untrue statements. Let's ignore the fact that 80% of married black men are married to black women. That's a good point. I think the number is actually 85, if I'm not mistaken. You can Google that if you don't believe me. This is trash, respectfully. Facts. She mentioned black men not going to therapy is a disqualifier. The data shows that more black men go to therapy than black women, but the cap continues. I don't know that stat, so maybe they're right, maybe they're not. I have no idea, but whatever. 3 idiots with no facts, no statistics shake my heads. Talk down about the only group of men who marry y'all in large numbers. Good point. Black men, my brother, go. What? Black men, my brothers. Go where you are celebrated, not tolerated. I don't know what SYSBM. What? Systemic black men today? What? Tomorrow and forever? I don't. My boy, that's a crazy typo. Imagine being so jealous and resentful that you think this show would be a good idea. A little self-awareness would go a long way. I'm going to end on that one. That's a good point. You could just been a little bit more self-aware by yourself, and realize, like I said earlier, maybe you're the problem. Maybe black men don't like you, or the black men you've chosen don't like you, or you've chosen shitty black men. Like, those are all a part of the conversation. Anytime I've had a relationship, regardless of her skin color, I always look at, damn, how could this have been better? What could I have done to facilitate a better relationship? Not just blame the other person like it's only their fault. I don't know, guys. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. The gender war continues, of course, and like I said in the description, this is the panel discussion you never